I just want to mention some ideas that popped in my head in a time most powerfully blessed. In a time where we're really, really blessed. In a time where we are able to manipulate the matter and space-time quanta, what I was calling the ether before, in reference, well, in deference to the days of old. But it really is the quanta that I speak on, the levels of only like the orbital, the levels in the orbitals. So when we are able to manipulate the levels and the energy quanta of an atom, we are able to change its quantum signature. So, for instance, strontium, when you light it being red like it is, you would be able to convince it that it's barium, or even copper, or even sodium, or calcium. So the color would change. And in a fireplace, just roaming and just burning away, even a gas one, in a hotel somewhere, or a restaurant, or whatever fine dining place in the future, you would be able to program advertising, and I mean, not just advertising, you'd be able to program artwork into the fire burning on the fireplace. So not only, well, at first it would be the fire's burning how it's burning, and there would be like designs printing in the fire. And then after a while, we would actually be able to create fire creature like movies. We would be able to play movies in the fire. Like the fire would literally be like holograms moving around and stuff. Of course, it can't walk off the log and go. It's still confined to where the fire is, but it would look like there's some animation going on. Now, some of this is already attainable, and I encourage you to see some of the weird things that you can see in fire and electrical fire if one just pays attention and thinks, what if there's something quantum entangled, like, into a system? Oh man, I get into my head thinking all these stuff. So I want to get back to the Higgs boson crystal, because that's what I was thinking about. And the the Einstein-Bohr condensate fermion level. That's what I wanted to talk about. So that there's at least two versions of this Bohr-Einstein condensate that reflect in the cold side the same affectation that the plasmas had. You got regular plasma, the kind that's like, lightning. And then you got fermion plasma, which is the kind where quarks and shit are all that's naked because it's so fucking hot. We're talking millions and millions centigrade. And in the case where it's the other way, fermion, in the Einstein-Bohr condensate, you're talking about within absolute zero. Not, I mean, we're talking atto degrees. Okay, atto degrees. The opposite of yata. So we're talking phenomenally low. It's like there is a colder cold, but we set the cold right there. So it's like it goes from, I mean, it's just what it feels like to me. Where a degree, 1 degree Fahrenheit or Celsius is so big, it's so little to us, but down there in that degree, point all the way down 24, 25 times 1 degree change is the significance, and we would witness the change from regular plasma or the Einstein-Bohr condensate to fermion type, where there's naked fermion, naked quarks, naked boson, naked muon, naked things. The format Higgs boson exposed without having to destroy, smash things together. So then we have that. Wouldn't that be cool? Well, I say this wouldn't that be cool because it's coming from a time when, well, that might be how I pass stuff back to myself. So I have to consider that, first of all, wavelengths of light in the ultra side are so short that they're really packed on the dark with just a percentage of it in the light. It's kind of what I see. I picture a black ball or a black coin with a small amount of white on the side to reflect the, you know, um, wavelength that it is. It would really be a full rainbow. Because that's what I noticed. The shorter the wavelength, the more rainbows you pack into each eventually, when you get down to like X-ray and I think ultraviolet, actually, you start seeing rainbows and everything. Rainbow, rainbow, rainbow. One color rainbow. It's really weird. It's technically a lot of ultras inside ultra. That's why I call them spectra, not just the spectrum, even though it is the spectrum. There's so much going on that there's even a Taurus Mobius that's being made in the rainbow that we see every day when you have a rainbow in the thunderstorms in the sky. I encourage you to look at a four rainbow, where they have there's the first one and the second rainbow. There's a dark area and there's a bridge between that, and it's the third rainbow. And then there's a fourth rainbow further down. The reason that there's four of them is I don't know. There's a shitload more than that if you really pay attention, but really I just want you to consider the fact that for a Taurus Mobius to be demonstrating itself in a rainbow, it does stand to reason that we've done something that has to do with staying timeless. But then again, okay, so we were talking about quark crystals, fermion crystal, yeah. Well, then what about a Higgs boson crystal? Alright, so that takes me around to that was what we were talking about plasmas, Einstein Bohr condensate. We'll probably start with that, the Einstein Bohr condensate, and then get into action. Sputter style. You get it between an A and a B and a naked spark gap charge. You can actually affect the quantum between the two sparks. And basically, that takes me around to that obelisk idea where you have one here and one here, and then there's some electrical energy in between the two. And there's more to it than that. That was the monopole idea. We'll figure it out. Alright, that's all I need to say. Oh, and thank you. You know what I mean. A lot of thanks.